Okay, check 1, 2. Want to talk about? Um, so I guess I'll begin. Want to talk about microtransactions. Um, they're not always bad. Hey, um, I'm I'm good. We're gonna talk about microtransactions with you, and I'm gonna actually speak with you. I'm looking at my phone, so I'm not looking at the a live screen. I'm far away from my screen. I can hardly see it. So if they're knocked out of conversation, that's good. So my thoughts on microtransactions are, let me get my thoughts, and I'll get your thoughts, and I just want to have a conversation. Um, Actually, I should ask, can you hear me? Hear me? Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait for that. Um, okay, good. Okay, good. So what I do with microtransactions are, like, it didn't begin as something that's really bad because the mobile market was something that had microtransactions in it, and so because they couldn't pay for themselves, because it's pretty much like it's up to $5 for a game that pretty much you waste your time with at the doctor's office. You need something to fill that space with money, and you buy upgrades and all that stuff. It's fine. It costs barely nothing or nothing at all. It's paid by ads or something like that. It doesn't. Even some like non free to play games are run by ads. Oh hey, yeah. Oh, that's that's whew, PM PM. Holy crap, dude! It is late at night for you. That's up to you. That is up to you if you want to be up or not. It is 3:30 p.m. here, so you're 6 hours away, 6 hours ahead of me. So, but the problem I have with microtransactions is that is when you start $60 and then you start to add on certain things on top of that. I don't know if I would put microtransactions into the same category as DLC, because DLC is downloadable content. Now that's what it stands for, and it's been around way before microtransactions were. But you still have to pay for something to get something, whereas microtransactions, you're getting one thing, and it's mostly randomized when it comes to loot boxes, which are again are kind of microtransactions. So I guess you can lump them all together. And when it comes to DLC, has always been really good. When people thought $20 for a DLC was mad, they were mad. What? So what movie did you see? Like, tell me that. So people thought you were mad to buy $20. I remember what was Dead Rising 2. People were like $20 for DLC. That's horrendous because it was only like 5 hours, and people were like, that's mad. You can't do that. 917. I heard that's like one of the greatest movies that got stolen from the Oscars. That's what I heard. So like I said, we're just talking about anything really, but mostly about microtransactions, about how they how they've crept into AAA games, and I think that's the wrong way they're doing it, pretty much. Oh yeah, it's definitely going up. People thought they were insane. Um, I remember people talking about that, and then you had the horse armor from what was that? Was that Oblivion Online? Was that WoW? I forget who had the armor DLC. They had like it's just an armor for your horse. I don't know if that was EverQuest. I forget what it was. I don't remember, but people again were rightfully mad that like, what are you doing? So yeah, and so later on they knew they could earn like mobile market makes tons of money, like from and for pretty much nothing. Like app games are barely games, even back then. It's only now that they're actually seeing like people trying because they know that they can get their mobile market in the AAA market these days. So mobile market is trying a lot harder. This is why you see a lot of Raid Shadow Legends, um, a lot of you don't see the Game of War stuff anymore. You don't see like they're trying. They are really trying to get people to pay. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate come visit and talking about 1917. It's great. Well, thank you. I know it's not gameplay, but thank you for coming by. Unknown. Uh, Make sure you feel better. Um, you should probably get some sleep, probably for your new job. Who knows? But thank you. So yeah, I remember. Um, so that's why I was kind of impressed with Shadow Legends because if you can't get paid by YouTube, why not just have ad support? And that's what ExpressVPN, Stamps.com, HelloFresh, all these other people, and Raid Shadow Legends, like we're going to do the same thing. Because we know people who watch content on YouTube are mostly games. There's a lot of gaming on YouTube. It is oversaturated, in fact, with YouTube. It didn't used to be until PewDiePie and Markiplier came along. They didn't care. So then it kept getting more extravagant. Like they had like then you had Seasons Pass, which is pretty much like you can get microtransactions for free for about a year, and that seems like or for a certain amount of time, like months, like a month DLC pass. You know, it's like you can get these microtransactions for free, certain kinds, for a certain amount of money. So it's again, these are business markets that like it shows kind of like the problems with how the market is because I've had this explained to me that it's not capitalism, it's corporatization. They're taking advantage of, and corporatization is taking advantage of this system, which the market is. And video games are an open market because no one knows how to regulate it, no one knows how to take control of it. Like with 100% accuracy, like TV or any kind of entertainment. Because you can't exactly focus group certain people without being called certain things. So it's pretty interesting. I mean by certain things like what is pandering, what is um, like because people because they're pandering to a certain type of demographic sometimes, and then the mainstream crowd is left out sometimes when it comes to certain games, and they don't know what to do about that. But you're going to go where the money is. Unfortunately, when it comes to microtransactions, they make all sorts of money from China. Like, and because China's where the PC market is, China is where the mobile market is, which is why Call of Duty makes so much money over there. Like, it is insane amounts of money. Activision Blizzard makes an insane amount of money. So does EA. In fact, EA got a pass almost this year by people on social media, and I'm like, no, they don't deserve my pass. Like, I'll give them credit that they did some good things, but no, you don't get a pass from me just because you do something good one year. Sorry, they still make an insane amount of money from Madden, from NHL, and their cash cow FIFA. FIFA makes a horde amounts of money. So, but are they all bad? No. Like I said, the mobile market, you have to make your money somehow. And they do it by giving people the ability to make money off of YouTube videos and from people who actually enjoy the game, and they said, "Well, it's free. I'm going to turn some money into it," and that's kind of how they do it. Yeah, the same gameplay. I'm just talking. I'm just talking. I'm just talking to my audience. But welcome in. Yeah, I'm talking about microtransactions. I'm sorry, but this is kind of. I want to do something different. I played Fallen Order b- before you got here, and I was just saying, well, I better put out another video or something. So this is how I do it. Hey, how's it going? Zenison or Xenosaga. So uh um what guy I'm trying to think of what topics are like. Man, I really don't like the way microtransactions are in this game or how they did it and all that stuff. That makes sense. Yeah, it does. Um, I'm just this is not a normal thing for me because believe it or not, I'm especially nervous to just talk, and this is how I do it because I don't know how to run a computer, so this is how I do it through a stream. I need to learn how to take an image and just plaster on there. Like I'm very bad at computer editing or editing in general. So this is why I do it this way. And the reason why I picked Dark Souls is because there's no sound, zero sound. So that's how I do it. It'd be part of the background, the background noise series. Um, so if you guys come up with a topic for microtransactions, I will listen to it because there is good ones. It's much easier to come up with bad ones, I think, especially when it comes to Activision, Blizzard, um, EA, because it is those are the two top, and especially when it like I remember when uh, what's that horror series that's based off the Russian book? They go underground. It's not called Exodus because that's AIDS Exodus. Oh yeah, mobile games are they're terrible. Like it's like most of them are. Like but they're trying. Like I said earlier, they're trying to make it worth it to go to the mobile market because they know they know if there's a mobile market in the AAA space, and then like especially when it comes to like I don't understand Blizzard sometimes. It makes me laugh because like they go in front of PC players in America, and then they're like, "Well, don't you have any phones?" And I'm like, "What? You showed off a mobile game of Diablo, then you made them think they're, and then you read the room, and then you're like, why do you guys so upset?" I'm like, "Why do you think they're upset? Why do you think they're upset?" And the people who defended them were like, "There's a bunch of entitled crybabies." So I was like, "No, that wasn't their problem. The problem is you painted a skin over and you call it Diablo. That was their problem." And what about like Bethesda's up there, man? Bethesda. But Bethesda came out with Fallout. I knew Fallout 76 was going to be a joke. Like, um, there were people who gave credit to like seeing Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, and 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 they say like it was going to be bad, like, and they're like it's this guy. And so like I knew from years before that 76 was going to be a dud because how many times did they re-release Skyrim? What, like 15 times? Like I bet there's a Skyrim for the Commodore 64. It's insane. Like and then they came up with Fallout 4, which was eh, and then they came out with Fallout Shelter, and I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. And then they say, "Well, it's going to be an online only," and I'm like, "You remember last time they did an online only game? Was what was that Skyrim Online game? The Elder Scrolls Online? Yeah, that came out great, didn't it?" And I'm like, and people thought 76 was going to be a big thing that's going to break records. I'm like, no. And then a year later, $100 for a for a season pass. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! And it's filled with microtransactions too. That's why I bring it up, because it's like, it's not enough you paid $60 for a broken game. It's a broken game that, you know what's not broken? The shop. Stadia. Oh wow, another thing that totally dropped. Like, I mean, I'm like, really? You, okay. You see, there's a lot of things that happened beforehand that you knew weren't going to work out, but you knew from that technology from the old is going to be a success another day. Stadia is one of those. Because it's like, or if you remember, early Nintendo was the same way. It was sort of a, they had the touchpads, they had the sensor bars. During Nintendo in the 80s, and it didn't always work 100%, but it worked. And then they made the Wii. Stadia will be that. Because later on, like 10 years later, they're going to be like, we can do online gaming. Like, yes. There's a screen. Pretty much. Actually, I was watching um, like a bunch of other people cover Stadia. And believe it or not, like the whole screen thing actually works. It's just that when you jump to another screen, there's going to be certain types of lag based on a device. And I'm like, well, duh. It's going to be a failure, guys. And believe it or not, there's a website called Google's Failures versus Google's Success. Not that there's like maybe I think there was like 3 successes and pretty much almost all failures. They have a 97% like failure rate. It is insane. 6 games. Well, of course it's going to come out, and the 6 games they come out with, you probably already have or never play again. Destiny 2. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Another like Destiny 2 was so bad that Bungie had to cut cords with Activision because Activision is one of the worst publishers in current generation of gaming. They used to be great, but now it's like we gotta fall back on Call of Duty. That's the only thing they can do because they have no reputation. So, I mean, they have just a bad reputation. And like, I'm surprised Shadows Die Twice got the way it was. Like, in fact, I'm like, From Software said no, hands off. Sure, just as long as you keep it clean. Oh man, is it Stadia? Electronic Arts. Yep, it's a joke. And people, like I said earlier, people were giving it a pass this year because, oh man, Fallen Order, they're listening. I'm like, no, they're not. They caved in. Like, why are people have selective memories of the last 10 years of Electronic Arts? I don't understand. We gave them 101 chances and they kept screwing it up. Like, why do you... I don't get it. They are a joke. In fact, Activision is doing worse. Want to hear the biggest joke? Activision is doing worse than EA right now. And when it comes to public opinion. It is insane. Insane! And they made like $10 billion worth of like microtransactions. Like I said, that's not a capitalism problem, that's a corporation problem. Because they take advantage of the system. And until they repair that system, or someone self-regulates themselves. But they're not going to do that. They're making too much money. Because, but there are people, I want to point out the good stuff, though. Because people think, oh, it's all bad. when microtransactions and stuff. Like, no, I don't think so. Because there are people that do it right, out there. It's just that they're rare because they know that public opinion is worth a lot. You know, um, I can think of Naughty Dog has also been interesting with their microtransactions because they had it in Uncharted 4, and I'm like, why? Nobody plays Uncharted 4 and says, you know what I need? A loot box. That was insane. A little parasites. Yeah, pretty much. They make whales. And you know where the whales are? China. Yeah, I mean, that's where the PC and mobile market is, so... And consoles, like, don't sell over there. Not really. Because, like, Xbox tried, didn't happen. So they're like, that's fine. We'll just create this PC for you. There you go. Play your Xbox games on that. It works out. Because that's why they put all the Xbox games on PC, because they were missing out on a huge piece of the market. It's like, which is fine. Like, I think you should have as many games on many platforms as possible. Like, I'm glad they brought Bloodborne to the PC. I'm so glad. Because I run a moderated Twitch channel, and he finally got to, an Xbox player got to play Bloodborne, loved it, and I'm like, that's fantastic. I love that. Because it means more money for the right games. And people know what the best games are by player reviews, social status, Game of the Year rewards, all that stuff. Which is sometimes a little overhyped because I'm one of those people that think God of War is a little bit overhyped. It's not as... don't get me wrong, it's a great game, but it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest. But whatever. My favorite game is still... I don't know what my favorite game is, because it changes. Sometimes it's Super Metroid, sometimes it's Bioshock. Oh, man. Not surprised there are no more subs? Well, thank you. I'm just that lonely guy. Well, because, like, here's the thing about YouTube gaming. It's one of the most saturated things you will ever see on the internet. This is why, like, they have to promote talk shows and bad sitcoms and reality shows on the main page. They have to, because it doesn't have much of a presence. Millions of people will see it for sure, but as soon as they see it, off it goes. Into the ether. No one rewatches it. No one's going to care that much. They see it once, off they go. When it comes to YouTube gaming, it stays with you, because you're going to watch that moment again when they when they catch their first Pokemon, or like when they find that kill, because you want to relive that moment and hope to have the same reaction as you. It is something that, this is what reaction channels do. And good reaction channels have big hype people who were really invested in the story. And they think everything is good. And so, like, when something happens, they're like, oh no, look at that! I'm like, yeah. Well, you want to see that. And someone who compliments certain scenes and doesn't compliment certain scenes, like, hey, man, I get it. This is why this is so popular. Like, so that's one of the reasons, honestly. Oh, man. Like, I'm trying to, so I was, okay, I'm about to get really political here. Sorry, but, when you talk about, like, it's kind of funny when people look at the bad people when it comes to making money. They always say, we should overtax those people. I don't believe that. Because they're not doing anything illegal. They're just following where the money goes. And that makes them rich. Which, the way they make money, I don't like it. It should be frowned upon, and they should be ashamed of themselves. But you really think they care what you think? Not really. But when you overtax people of a certain kind, when you overtax people of a certain kind, you're also hurting the creators who do a good job. Like Toby Fox, do you think he's poor? No. Do you think Scott Kaufman is poor? No, I don't think so. Scott Kaufman, man, I love that guy. Like, he is so cool because if you ever heard about him, he's the guy that creates the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, and he has this great customer relationship, but he makes tons and tons of money from the Five Nights at Freddy's, just from being on YouTube alone, makes him all kinds of money, and because Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, they play every single game, and you're like, wow, that looks really cool. I want to buy that. You know, he understands free promotion. When one of his games didn't work, he gave full refunds and he apologized and he worked on it and gave it up for free. That's a guy who hard works. I mean, and not only that, that's why I think he has good customer relations. He's a good guy. Toby Fox, the guy's he is so scarcity. The guy's so reclusive now because he made Undertale, but Undertale made so much money because of what it was. Oh yeah, and let's not forget, when you overtax people, you're taking the food off their table when it comes to Cuphead, because Cuphead is a huge success, made tons of money also, and they gave up everything to do it. Everything. And then you're going to punish them for it. Like, really? Like, maybe we should, I don't know. We need to teach people a morality system that self-regulates. Oh, Deltarune? That's true. He's probably working on it. Because I haven't played the Sega Deltarune. I mean the first one, but I hear it's on the Switch store. So maybe I should check that out. Because Deltarune looks rad. You know. So yeah, I've seen it before. It's interesting enough. But I don't know. I don't know if he's like, because it took him a while to come up with Deltarune, so he's probably like in his basement somewhere going, hey, I'm creating this other thing, because he does those things like alone. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he has a team or not. But, you know, it's like, making money on microtransactions is not a bad thing, but when you try to get money after their purchase and you manipulate people to do it, like, I don't know, creating a system where you have to grind so much time, if you want to skip the grind, pay for it. Like, that's manipulative and evil. Like, we should punish. Like, those kinds of should be punished. That's psychological damage. Especially when it comes to, I know it's kind of a dumb thing, but think of the children sort of argument. But yeah, have you read all the articles coming out of the UK? Like, there are so many, like, they'll play FIFA, and then they'll have an account, and they said, hey, you get this cool thing with money, and they're like, okay, and the kids, not knowing what's going on, spend over like $1,000, and they didn't even know it. And I'm like, it's insane. And limiting purchases. How about you limit purchases? That sounds like an easy answer. Like, so people don't have a gambling addiction. You know, so hey, only allow one purchase per day for each account. I mean, you want to create multiple accounts? Sorry, you can't do that. Especially when it comes to like EA accounts. Sure. Oh man, so anyway, my thought goes from one thought to another. And the other thought I was going for, like, I remember when people were talking about rec packs when it talks about Halo 2. I mean Halo 5. They're like, yeah, like and then they try to squash like any resistance to it with the video. You don't know when to shut up, like, and the guy shoots him. It's like, how dare you point out how our system is manipulative? How dare you? And I'm like, it just makes you look like the bad guy, which Microsoft kind of is sometimes. And then and then there's team packs with the when it comes to the sports games, like to get digital cards. Like, yay, you got a digital card. Whoop-de-doo. That has no monetary value. Like, how dare you have a brainstem? How dare you? How dare you? Yeah, yeah, but it's just, I know, I know. How dare I have a brainstem? How dare I think inside and outside the box at the same time? How dare I? I'm so smart. No, I'm not that smart. I'm just pointing out it's just very common sense stuff. It and it's not even very thought out. Like my opinions are not exactly my own per se, but I would say I'm connecting it to the things I see and the things I listen to, and just reverberating it to a common sense sort of argument. Like uh, for example, when you like I said, like those packs that you get in EA Sports packs, you got a digital card that has no monetary value. It really doesn't, because if you get a pack of when you go inside a hobby store of any kind, you walk in, you take a pack of cards, sports cards with the bubble gum in it. You that has monetary value because depending on how the player is, it will get a certain amount of money back. Basically, it has even cards that have no value are still going to have some more value, like 25 cents. Try selling a digital card for that much on your EA game. Like, okay. Speaking of trading digital goods, with microtransactions, with rare microtransactions, when they make certain microtransactions rare, you can sell them on the black market on the internet. Like, not even black market. There are like open gambling sites for like skins for CS:GO, for maybe even Overwatch, which is way overrated, by the way. It's fun to play, sure, but when you have loot boxes in it and no campaign, whoop-de-doo, I skip your game. Like, because it's like really like I think that was the downfall of Activision Blizzard, because it was Jim Sterling who connected the two for me, and even though I don't like the guy as much anymore, because Jim Sterling creates his own problems, shots fired. Um, but what I mean is like when they came out with Overwatch, they decided, did as a species. Oh, absolutely. I should say it's nothing new. It's like I mean, it's the scarcity gamble. It's sort of like this is why you open packs of Pokemon cards back in the day to get a Charizard. Like you have a 0.1% to get that Charizard, but I don't care. I got 15 packs for my birthday, and I got crap basically, and one Dragonair. And Dragonair was awesome back in the day. But still, at least it had value, though. That's physical, tangible value. If you kept that thing in pristine shape, and it was a first edition, you'd probably get $50. You know. So, but anyway, yeah. So it actually tied that together with Activision Blizzard. Went downhill since Overwatch because they knew they made tons of money. As long as we make a fun game with microtransactions, they'll pay for it. Now they've become this the recycling wheel. It's create game, cycle the game, then microtransaction the game, claim will do better, and the cycle continues. because they're making an Overwatch 2 that's still compatible with Overwatch 1. What the heck are you doing? Oh, that's right. It's called China. Which, by the way, taking shots at China, yeah, these guys who, you know, their government are shutting, like, they're trying to shut down their own government, and we're just gonna send them. We're just gonna the people who actually want your game to be good, and not full of these nasty practices. You skipped over because the heck with their home country, which you are, which major company. Nah, man, we need to sell to China. Oh man. Well, we need to. So, what else, man? Jeez. Like I mentioned before, like you weren't here, but who made the horse armor for the like that one DLC for horse armor? No, I doubt that. If I get shut down from my, like, if I get shut down or from my views, it's called. I'll have a Streisand effect. From people who don't know what the Streisand effect is, I'll explain. So pretty much, shouts out to actually like Ben Shapiro for showing me what the Streisand effect actually is. The actual Streisand effect is when so back in the day, Streisand, the picture of her home was photographed by this lonely magazine guy. Like he was a small town guy, and what not small town, but it was a paper that no one cared about. And so like, but she was looking through the paper, and so what happened is that she found out. Then she told them, "Don't you dare show that picture, like, and like don't look at it, like, but it's already published." And so she tried to, stop people from seeing it. So they, don't look at it, don't, and she created this big controversy about it. Now everybody, but because of that, now people know more about where her house is than if they would just left it alone. This is what the Streisand effect is. So if I blew it because of that, it would be exactly the Streisand effect because I'm a nobody. And that's what would happen if the Streisand effect actually happened to me. People would be like, "Oh, so China's a problem." Like, no kidding. Have you watched the news? Come on. uh, so yeah, I'm freely talking about stuff. I'm getting a lot braver. Oh man, I mentioned that. Mentioned shall not be named. Ooh. So, like, I don't know why. I'm. It's kind of funny. Uh, Man. Let's see. So, anyways, I was trying to think of that. Like, was it Oblivion that paid for the DLC horse armor? That was just horse armor and it did nothing. It just made your horse look different, and it was like $5. And people were like, "What the heck?" I don't know. It was some kind of online game, I think. It could have been WoW, but I can't think of it. Oh man, because that was like one of the biggest oopsies, of early microtransactions. It was like, what is this? Oh yeah, I started remembering. Fable 3, Fable 3. Hmm. I remember that. Oh yeah, baby. I don't think it was a Skyrim because it was. Oh man. Because I remember it like being an online game. People are like, "Haha, DLC for horse armor, $5," and like, people are like, "Are you crazy?" It's just armor for your horse. But like, oh man, I remember like that was on X Play once, and I was like, "You're crazy." Oh man, X Play. So yeah, so when Fable 3 like came out, there was microtransactions with it, like during Fable 3, and one of them was like you couldn't have like certain things in that game because of the and you couldn't trade certain things in that game to different people if they didn't have the if they didn't have that equipment or the same thing. And I'm like, wow, you guys are great at this. Oh my gosh. Because like, hey, you don't have the. I want to buy this black dye for all my equipment, so we can look black. And like, well, you can't get that for your. I don't have it yet, so I want to trade it. But no, you can't do that because you don't have the other equipment that the other person doesn't have. And I'm like, what? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's creepy. It looks like that. It looks like that like Doctor Who monster, like moisturize me. But man, man, I'm going through it. Thinking of good ones. Thinking of good ones is the hard part. Like I think DLC like. So I would say Dark Souls probably has some of the best DLC out there. Best DLC. Like because whenever I'm like they come with bosses, new areas, new weapons, new spells. And I'm like, especially the Ring City. The Ring City is the best From Software DLC I've ever seen. It is really, really good. It comes with two areas, like 6 bosses, a bunch of weapons, a bunch of new enemies. And I'm like, yes, more of this, please. That's content right there. Oh, man. Even Dark Souls 2 with its DLC was like very good because you had like 4 new areas. 3. 3 areas because there's poison, fire, and winter. Yeah. But still, like that's also cool. Dark Souls 1. Um, the Artorias DLC. Again, Artorias, like if they just did one boss for DLC, oh my gosh. Artorias is such a cool fight. I love that fight. It's such a good one. Uh, Still, those are good things. Like we when you talk about memory lane, though, I think one of the first time I saw a season pass, I was it was Black Ops 2, and I was like, "What's a season pass?" And it was and I looked at it, and I'm like, "So it pays for DLC coming up?" And I was like, "No, I'll pass on the season pass." It's not much alliteration, I know, but whatever. And I say a lot. I should be more self-aware about what I say and what I don't say because if you don't know, I write and I repeat stuff all the time. I've learned that from editing. So I skipped the season pass, and the whole thing kind of seemed weird to me. Well, thank you. It kind of seemed weird to me because and paying for the whole thing, like, sure, that sounds good, but sounds like a 50s song. But if you wanna be funny on a stream, just like just take a really popular song and just say it. Don't sing it. Say it. Ba 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 baram. Ba baran. Even though that's not a popular song nowadays, whatever. That's the first thing I thought of was but whatever. So, like I said, the problem with The problem with season passes is that you have no idea what kind of content you're getting. No clue. Unless they tell you on a website somewhere, and it's really obscure. Like, you have to go to their website, and it's like, oh man, you gotta sign into that website in order to know what's in DLC, and people are like, nah. And then they say, haha, we got you. You can't blame us because we wanted to tell you. I'm like, that's the way I would do it if I were crafty. I'm sure that's done before, but that's the way I would do it. You gotta sign in to see what's coming up, and people are too lazy. AEIOU? Isn't that what the... man. It, every great joke comes down to two... Every great joke comes down to two things from my childhood. Either The Simpsons or Animaniacs. AEIOU comes from Animaniacs. Oh, the sun. Yeah. Praise the sun. So, you have no idea what's in that you have no idea what's in that content coming up. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, why would I pay for something I don't know what's in it? Which is kind of funny because I'm that guy who thinks Black Ops 3 was better than Black Ops 2, just not in the campaign. Multiplayer was a crap show because if you're not using one kind of weapon, you're not doing it right, and so you have to go to hardcore. That's what you had to do. And hardcore was fun, but I'm like, I'll go to 3. The whole like jumping around stuff was pretty good. Carrot plus sun minus 8. Oh, I have no clue. I am not a meme person. I'm also not a pop culture person. The only meme I've seen lately is I don't remember the last meme. One of the last memes I saw was Cloud. I mean, old man shouts at Cloud, and it was The Simpsons where Abe was yelling, and and it's Cloud from Final Fantasy VII drawn as a cartoon. It's actually really good. I'm like, that's hilarious. Even though it's old, I'm like, that's great. Oh, it's a pufferfish. It looks like a sun. Oh, I still can't put it together. I still can't put two together. I know, I'm dumb. I'm dumb on that part. So I don't trust season passes. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I don't trust season passes. Oh my gosh. Now I'm just dropping into memes. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's pretty much like, oh man. So, oh man, they just can't get their crap together. Happiness equals a pufferfish. Yeah, if you're a pufferfish, yeah, because a pufferfish is good. Just, just say you have a bad day if you mess with one. But there's all kinds of animals. It's like, I don't care. I'm just gonna eat you anyways. Remind me of the Pokedex, because the Pokedex is just filled with like, my armor's impenetrable, but no, it's not. There's a certain Pokemon which eats it every day. What am I even doing? That's what I'm saying right now, honestly. I'm just rambling. As you can tell, I choose this from... I choose this background because it has nothing. I don't know what else you hear besides my voice. I have the fan on high. And it's... the reason why is because it is... I don't know, 60 degrees in Ohio Valley right now, and it is insane. Vibbin. Oh my gosh. So, oh man, after I'm done with Fallen Order, I'm gonna try to get Doom Eternal, because yes, why wouldn't I get Doom Eternal? Doom is like, it's kind of funny because I see Doom as the Master Chief we should have got, and I'm like, yeah, like I think Master Chief could survive a the the flood and all that stuff. I think he can handle that. I don't think he's as powerful as Master Chief, but I'm thinking like, oh, he could do it. He's not smart, but he's like, get out of my way. He do a glory kill on the on um on on the three wise men. It's like boom, like oh, like, he don't care. He has one mission. Uh, yeah, it's kind of funny because I think Doom Guy actually filled the gap between like the the Halo games for me. That's what it feels like. Because it's just all this aggression that Doom got. Like, because here's the thing, like the story for Doom, the new Doom is actually really good because there is no story. That's what makes it so good. And believe it or not, Master Chief has a lot. I mean, Master Chief. I mean, like Doom guy has a lot of personality in that game. You just have to pay attention to the small details of what he does. Because when someone tells him not to do something, he's like, I don't care. I have one mission: kill demons. And he's like, there's a story here. Whatever. Out of the way. Because you can see his passion of what he does, and through the cutscenes, and the way he fights the demons around him. It's so cool. And not only that, he does have a bit of a heart because he saves Vega because Vega didn't do anything wrong, and he knows when to not be aggressive because at the very end of the game, he pretty much like gets stuck, and he's like we're done here, and he's like, okay, I'm getting that back. I know where this is going. And like, such a good game. Which, by the way, one of the best Easter eggs is the Skyrim reference in that game because it's in air quotes made by Bethesda. Yeah, okay. And you know, which is kind of funny because Doom Eternal, like Bethesda wanted to take credit for that, and like ID is like, no, you don't. Same thing with 76. They were like, and we had help from id Studios. I'm like, no, we didn't. It was like, you mean id? That's like, hey, I think this doesn't look very good. Oh, thanks, id. You give him a thumbs up. That's hilarious. And like, yeah, because it's made by Bethesda, they put the guy in the Skyrim helmet in the back of a cave and an arrow through the knee, and I'm like, that's really good. I like that. I would have made Adventurer 2 if I didn't take that arrow in the knee. And I'm like, every single soldier says that, so I guess they were all like recruited the same thing or cloned. So anyways, I think I'm babbling far enough about. I'd rather I don't give me plenty of content to work with. I think I'll set off before my PlayStation catches fire from all the heat. So yeah, like they're coming by. Like I love this talking, especially. But sometimes I'll do this without company and just talk about a subject and ramble on. But it always helps to have somebody like that bounce ideas off of. You know, stuff like that, or they have their own ideas. It's pretty good stuff. Yep. No. Your day or Rade. Arde. It sounds like a it's Arde. It sounds like a an avatar, like cat person's name. And this is my brother Arde. I'm like yeah, I get it. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the kind words and all that stuff. And you have a fantastic day. I just wanted to put it all out to give them information. Take care, guys. Oops, wrong one. I shut down the app. But take care.